Sweet. It's recording now. All right. Cool. Thanks, guys, for showing up. We're just, as we stated, we're trying to go over the raid for next week. So obviously, Manaforge Omega is going to be dropping on Tuesday, and we will start raiding it on Tuesday for the normal raid team and the late night raid team. So super pumped to get that going. I can't wait to get into this raid. I played a lot of it in PTR, and it's pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. I think I like it. I haven't fully been in it enough to know if I like it more than Undermine, but I already loved Undermine. So me already having a inkling that I'm gonna enjoy this raid even more is saying something. I think Blizzard really cooked with this one. Just my opinion. The vibes are right for this kind of raid. Um, so starting off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with like the big overview for each of the bosses using what you can already see for yourself, which is the cheat sheets that Wowhead released. To get to the cheat sheets, what you would need to do is go to Wowhead, of course, and then go to this Manaforge Omega, and then hit Raid Cheat Sheets, and it'll show all of the bosses here, which I will go to Plexus because that's where we're going to start. But yeah, so first things first here, and I don't know if they have heroic cheat sheet yet, but we'll get to that later. It's fine. We'll have another heroic and then mythic review for sure. But the first boss is Plexus. He's a really cool boss. It introduces using the mechanic of our new cloaks. Pretty cool. You're gonna have to dash between like a wall that's coming at you, and you use your cloak special ability to dash through it, which is that phase blink at the top there. So it's your extra action button, has a 10-second cooldown, and then it charges your character forward. And as I said, a giant wall will show up, and it'll actually come at you, and you have to phase blink through it. Um, the way the fight starts is I'm gonna flip over. Can you guys now see our notes section here?
You're
Cool. All right. So we are gonna lust on pull, or as Sully has put here, fasty casty on pull, which amazing. Uh, and we're gonna do that in split groups. We're gonna have there's two major mechanics that happen here. The boss is gonna be tanked in the middle here, and then the tanks are gonna get a for the tank swap, it's a circle underneath you. The tank is going to take this as far away from the raid group as possible. The closer you are, the more damage. So the tanks are going to take the circle out. The other tank is going to taunt and keep the boss here. Rinse and repeat. There's going to be a soak. I'm not sure if the soak is on normal as well. But if
No,
no, it's just heroic, right?
normal. It just anybody can soak.
Okay.
Everybody soaks on normal.
Okay. On heroic, we are going to be splitting groups and doing like an odd even soak. Yes, Sully?
Correct.
Okay. So that is like the first part. He then goes to his next position in intermission, and what we do is we basically go from actually, if I can. At any rate, I won't draw on this one, but later on, maybe what we could add, Sully, is just showing we're going to be bounced back to this part of the fight here, so the beginning of the room, and then we have to basically run through a gauntlet here. Let me see if I can show. Actually, let me pull something up real quick. I'll actually show you guys what it looks like via video real quick. Go into our raid fights overview. Also, that's a plug. Make sure, guys, we're putting all of the raid info into a thread that we created in raid info. It's under raid fight overview. All of the questions that you possibly could think of about the fights, you're going to get answered in that subsection or that thread on Discord. So definitely take a look at that. What I'll do now is pull this guy up. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
I'm going to mute it. Put it in theater. So you'll see Plexus. We put him in the middle here. you'll see there is mechanic here, which is drop those purple / pink circles on the edge of the room, which is similar to what we said here. Drop those circles to the edge of the room. That is your job. And then, and let's put this back here. And that's the tank. The tank takes that out. The other tank taunts. The tank gets out. It does raid-wide damage. And then this is the gauntlet I talked about. You get punted back, and you have to run to the boss and break his shield. You'll see the giant wall comes. You phase dash through it, or else you take a shit ton of damage and get stunned. So you don't want to get hit by that wall. You have to phase dash through it while you're fighting. As you can see, there's a ton of mechanics to dodge through this intermission, but the whole purpose is to just take his shield down, and then the fight is just rinse and repeat. Same thing as the initial phase. The next phase, it just punts you back even further, just a further gauntlet to get through. Other than that, what we're going to do at that time is just pop a bunch of movement shit. So at the beginning of that phase, we'll pop all the movement stuff, the totems, the roars, etc., and go from there. Honestly, this boss is easy as fuck, so I think first boss is going to be very, very simple. Cool vibes as well.
We can use portal there too.
Yeah, we could use portal too. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that one of the questions I had about using a lock gate there is when we do take that, are we going to get damage from the things that we're going through? These.
The wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the sphere.
Mm-hmm. You will. Yeah, you will.
Yeah.
So you might want to, if you're going to do that, do a defense. Oh, you use the cloak. Well, with the 10-second cooldown, you also need to make sure it's up for the wall.
Yep. I think they've timed it to where the walls come every like 15 seconds or so, 15 to 20. So like you have time for the cooldown to go up, basically.
Okay.
But I would say personally, I don't think we should gate because there's too much shit to dodge, and going through a gate just adds a secondary layer of crap to do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think if we just roar and run forward, we'd be fine.
It's a stay alive situation.
Yep.
It's a similar fight to Mother from Old Year.
And the intermission for Cauldron.
Yep. Cool. I mean, that's really the first fight. Any questions?
Seems chill.
Cool.
It's a nice room.
Dude, just wait. It's fucking the whole raid is just the vibes are perfect. Like it's this giant chasm of like nothingness, but then they're on like these platforms, and it's very like, yeah, they nailed the vibe for sure. So the second boss, we'll keep the same order in which we did, is Loom. So Loom is a giant spider boy that sits in the middle of the room during phase 1. You are going to hold Lust until phase 2, aka when he comes down from the center and we start kiting him around the room. You guys will see this, but the big mechanic is he's going to spawn these layer weavings, and it's a collapsing ring of webs that are connected together. What we're going to do is we're going to focus one of the weaves, kill one of the ads basically, and go from there. On heroic, they are immune, and what the tanks are going to need to do is actually hit them with the frontal, and it takes away their immune. So the tanks have to make sure they hit the target that we want so that we then can burn it. All DPS will then stop hitting the boss and start hitting that ad. Make sure it breaks so that we can get out of it. The reason that we need to break it is because there's going to be a burst. There's a giant circle at 100 energy that he blows up. So I'll show you here. There's a bunch of tethers and stuff, but the big thing that I'm talking about is this. So you'll see the weave around the group here. The tank is going to make this one not immune anymore, and then everyone's going to burn this ad right here. They burn the ad.
I see.
That we now have a means to escape. We kill it. And then a giant circle shows up when this video wants to show it. Was it in the beginning? Where's the giant circle we run away from? At any rate, there's a giant circle. You have to run to the edge of the room, basically, to get away from it. So you can't do that, of course, if we're trapped. So the priority is to get down the ad as soon as freaking possible. So second,
is there only one ad that's targetable, or is every node an ad?
all the nodes are targetable on normal,
Okay.
but we still want to focus one because on heroic they're not targetable. They're immune until you hit it with the frontal.
That's right. Okay.
So yeah, but we all want to focus. All DPS will stop on boss and just hit one ad that will designate and ping, basically.
Gotcha.
Second phase is he comes down from the middle of the room and we actually start kiting him around the room. There is a timing mechanic on this one, which is we're basically filling the room with spider goop, right? And we want to keep kiting him around so we don't stand in that stuff. But we have to kill him by the time the room fills up or else we die, right? So the only other thing to think about in this phase 2 is there's going to be a frontal. On normal, we're all just going to soak it. On heroic, we have to alternate the soaks because there's a exponential damage increase every time you get hit by the soak. And so you want to let that fall off before you take the next soak. This is also when we're going to lust because once he starts that phase 2, he is taking more damage. I think it's like he takes 50% more damage or something like that. So we lust and then burn as much as possible. Let me show you the... Yep, so this is the phase. You see he's down. There's goop in the middle. There's a bunch of circles that are going to spawn the goop. There's the frontal. You soak it, and then rinse and repeat, kill the boss until he's dead.
On the slides that I created, I tried to list it for heroic, but there are certain details that I don't have available right now. So if anybody finds anything that needs to be updated as we go along, please let me know.
Will do, Sully. And thank you again for making these. They're amazing. Run away, little girl. So yes, drop the pools on the ground and we kite the boss around. Odd even soak when we're getting to heroic, but for next week, we're not going to have to worry about that on normal unless we clear this and hop into heroic real quick. And that's the fight. Any questions for boss 2?
Seems not bad.
Cool. All right, so boss 3. It's kind of choose your own adventure here, but I kind of want to do it in this order. Next one is Soulbinder. So Soulbinder is a fun fight. It is a room. We got to work with the room kind of mechanic. There's going to be a bunch of these. If I'm thinking this correctly, there's going to be a bunch of chambers that are incubation chambers. Yep, that's the one. Incubation chambers that are around the room, and we're going to tank the boss near them. So there's Soul Calling, which is 6 inactive immune ads, which we have to eventually break out and kill. And we have to interrupt the mages, kill the assassins, etc. There's going to be a Soul Fray Annihilation, which is a line on the ground. Let me show here. So as you'll see in our notes, we're going to tank the boss in between these canisters. So the random people are going to be hit with that pink line. You want to stand behind the canister so that the boss's line hits the canister and not us. And then kill the ads that come out of the canisters. And then literally we're just going to be moving across the room, doing it again, moving across the room, doing it again, etc., until the boss is dead.
I just recently learned that we're going to also have orbs.
Yep,
to dodge
orbs.
Other things, mechanics to do.
I think the orbs are the lines, if I'm not mistaken. And the orbs are... Yeah, I think the orbs are what they are. Yeah.
But there's also, if you look at the full video, this is just the preview one.
Mm-hmm.
there's orbs that are floating around the room.
Right. You're talking about the random orbs that come out of players. Right.
Just things to dodge.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Most of what I have here is just the basic boss things.
If I'm not mistaken, it should be 3 players chosen at pseudo random will have a 5-angled series of orbs shoot out from them.
Yep.
And so you'd want to spread those kind of out so that way they're not overlapping. The canisters will stop the orbs, I think, but I might be wrong as well.
Yeah, I don't know about the orb
did
part.
show them. Okay.
But I do know that they do shoot out of players at those as he explained. So you just have to dodge them.
Knockback, and I think there's a healing debuff.
Yep. So it's mostly dodging and then making sure we break the ads out of the canisters or else we're dead. That's really the fight. It's a pretty straightforward fight in my opinion. Deals damage to all players, knocks them away from boss, so just watch out for your position on the platform because there is a knockback that happens, so make sure you're like inside the platform unless you're positioning yourself to where you can break the canisters, etc. Of course, you don't have to worry about that. The tanks are going to swap on Mystic Lash. I think it's very similar to Rick V Reverb's debuff on them. So after like 6 or 7 of those debuffs, you would swap. So similar. I actually didn't talk about the tank swap for Loom, but the tank swap is just the frontal. So every single frontal, we just swap back and forth. And that's really boss 3. Any questions?
So this, what do they call it? Soulfire convergence with the orbs popping out of people. Like how long does it take for them to like go off? Is it like a few seconds so you can like walk away from the group?
Yep,
So
it's a few seconds.
It's kind of like Gallywix. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like Galley. Let me see if I can catch it. I think I saw it while this was going. Then they break, and then the lines. Make sure we're breaking those. And then I know I saw it. It was around here that people were picked. Give it a sec. There's the orbs. There's the orbs. There's the knockback. It's probably like here. Come on. Show me what I need to see. There it is. See the orbs right here? So you have 3 seconds, it looks like.
It's like Gallywix or Nexus Princess.
Yep.
You know, you get the stuff you get out of the raid, and so you don't get all the orbs falling everywhere.
Yep. Exactly.
So get the orbs run into the middle of the raid, right?
Yep. In fact, stack like right in the middle where the melee's at. Perfect.
Yep. Excellent. All right, so that is basically this fight. It is very simple. They actually made it easier than in PTR. In PTR, there were canisters and stuff in the middle of the room that you had to deal with too. So they changed it up a little bit. But at any rate, that's the 3rd boss. So then we'll go to 4th boss, which is Forge Weaver. So let me see if I can show. Yeah. So, okay, Forge Weaver is actually a really cool fight. The main, again, you kind of use the room in this one. We're also going to hold Lust until phase 2. The main assignment is the collector groups, and it's mostly a single target fight. The big thing that you want to watch out for is Arcane Obliteration. So for tanks, it targets the current tank with a split soak effect that also spawns ads. So we want to soak that with a pre-marked group. We'll mark groups, and one group will soak it. And then for heroic, we're actually going to split the raid odds evens and alternate the soaks and then kill the ads that spawn. Tanks will swap on the debuff. So basically we'll get marked, and then we'll taunt swap, and then we'll soak and kill ads. Another skill is Invoke Collector, which is it'll target 3 players connecting them to a collector. After a few seconds, the targeted players spawn ads that walk to the connected collector. So it'll spawn ads that need to be cleaved down, and also we need to make sure we're making sure those ads don't get to the collector, or else it blows up and we take raid-wide damage. So the main thing for this is you'll see the collectors here, right? The ads will spawn under the boss, so we want to make sure the boss is not near those collectors. We need to kill those ads, or else before they get to these collectors as well. So yep, split groups for soak, take small ads to star, kill ads before they reach the canisters, rinse, repeat. So you'll see we then, once the canister goes, we get the ads, we move the boss away, and then go. So yep, odds even soak for heroic, taking small ads to star, rinse, repeat. So then we have what happens in the fight, at least the burn phase, is we'll have the collectors phase. So once we get all the collectors active and intermission starts, the collectors start gaining energy and can be killed. We are then going to split into groups and kill the collectors before they reach 100 energy. The big thing here is just dodging lines and also making sure the tanks are intercepting the collector beams at 100 energy. So let me see if I can show this. Here's the beginning of the fight. The adds arcane expulsion happening. That's killing the collectors once they're active in this intermission. So that's a collector dead. Kill the other collector. Van manifestations come for the other collectors. Kill them. He's activating another bunch of swirlies to dodge. Manifestations coming out, killing those. Killing the echo. There's just a ton of ads in this fight. It's a very cleave-heavy fight. Then once the collector phase ends, we take the boss to the edge of basically the entrance of the room, right? Because what he's going to start doing is knocking us away and perma knocking us away faster and faster. So the mechanic is we need to kill him before we get pushed off the edge of the room, basically. So it is a stack that keeps on adding up until it's too much to bear, too much to resist against. So that's at 25% HP. The boss takes double damage. We pop all our cooldowns for 12 seconds. It then does what I just explained, the Dark Singularity. All players are knocked away from the boss. The console edge becomes a lethal singularity, pulling players towards it. If you get in it, you die. So we want to go to the entrance of the room and run away from it. And it'll eventually increase more and more till you can't run away and you die. So he needs to die before that happens. So a lot of stuff going on in that fight. Lots of ads, lots of positioning that the tanks need to be aware of. Yeah, survive the great suck. So good. That's amazing. Never forget everything I said. It is now called the Great Suck, and we need to live and kill the boss before we get sucked. Okay. Any questions?
I got a couple.
Sure.
So, for the first phase, there's the big tank soak, and then separately there's like the ads that go towards the collectors. Do those ever overlap, or?
So the soak is the ad spawn. So when you soak, the ads then spawn. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
My other question is, when the collectors are actually like damageable, can you split cleave these, or is it like, can I not just park my ass in the middle of the room and dot all of them at the same time and just do my thing, or do I have to do anything special apart from dodging orbs or whatever?
Go ahead, Sully.
If my memory serves me correctly, if the boss is targeting a shrine, it is you can be damaged.
Gotcha.
I
Okay.
could be wrong, but I think that's the way it's set up.
All right.
I did
Yeah.
not to get ahead of ourselves, but on Mythic, I guess all 3 shrines have to be killed within 3 seconds of each other. I
Ugh.
don't know. It was something crazy.
Sounds awful.
Fun. Yeah, I think on normal and heroic we can just fucking destroy all the shrines or the collectors, whatever you want to call them.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there isn't
There's
a
no
problem.
there's nothing like that. That was a Mythic mechanic, and like I said, not to get ahead of ourselves.
I like thinking way ahead, so I'm good with that. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions?
Seems like a great fight to run away from your healers on, so don't do that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to really.
Gotcha. Burning
yes.
rush away from healers. Got it.
Is the
Check right
number
there.
of ads determined by the number of people that soaked, or is it just a set determined?
It's set. Yeah, it's a set determined.
Okay.
It's not a max or more type thing.
Got it.
That's where we're gonna want hunters, mages, mass entanglement, vortex,
Yep.
all the things.
All the CC to stop them from getting closer to their objective, their collector.
Typhoon them towards it. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Fear? Okay.
Yeah, got it. Halter, spec. Let's go.
No.
Vortex them on the shrine.
Yeah.
So the next boss is really fun. It's called the Soul Hunters. You're essentially fighting 3 demon hunters in supposedly the 3 demon hunter specs, and the not so subtle drop of potentially a 3rd demon hunter spec. So this fight is absolutely crazy. Let me see if I can hide these ads real quick. Don't snitch on me, whoever. Don't tell Wowhead I'm doing this. Bang. Okay. So basically, with this fight, there is a ton of shit going on. This fight's going to be super fun. There's a lot of mechanics happening. The main thing that we are going to focus on, though, is we're lusting on the start. There's 3 main targets that we have to kill. In theory, we would want to kill them around the same time. I think on Mythic you have to eventually, or else they like enrage and you die, all these things. I think that is the case. I'm not 100% certain. But the tanks are going to tank 1 away from 2. So I believe it is, stack other bosses on Adaris and kill each boss at the same time to avoid increasing AoE damage. Yeah. So on the pull, 2 purple soaks will appear on the ground at the start of each encounter. We'll assign players to soak 1 each, and then each player will get a dispellable debuff that shouldn't be dispelled because it gives a haste buff, I think. And then we're going to stand in purple void zones with the debuff to soak them. So let me actually go to Soul Hunters. So you'll see the arena is outside, so there's like a huge circle we're going to be in. The main thing that we're going to focus on is absorbing those soaks, and then the absorbing with the debuff. There's a tank frontal that happens from one of the 3 bosses that we have to soak. There's green circles on the ground that we're also going to have to soak, so we'll talk about it a little bit. In phase 1, there's going to be a hunt feature. It charges a targeted player. It deals high damage to them. Damage is reduced for each player that soaks the charge, aka that green soak that we showed. The target, move away from the boss to extend the charge so that more people can soak it. And then we soak the charge to reduce the damage taken to that person. So, and on heroic, we have to spread inside the soak to avoid extra damage. So can't be too close to each other when we're all soaking in that. The tank swaps on I-beams and fractures. So if you get I-beamed, I think it is Valerian that I-beams, and then Alyssa that does fracture. I think. I
That
don't.
would be correct because one of
Yeah.
them says vengeance there and one says havoc.
Okay, there you go. Perfect.
Yeah, we're
So
gonna
yeah,
go through an order of all the specs, I guess.
yeah, yeah. And so you're gonna tanks have to swap after each I beam and each fracture. We want to make sure we're pointing the I beam away from the raid, or else it hurts everyone. And then we need another player to soak the fracture soul. So we need to make sure that we're soaking the fracture souls, like similar to the little souls that DHs soak. That's phase 1. Phase 2, at set intervals, one boss will jump to the middle and use their metamorphosis ability. They're always used in the same order. So the first one's Collapsing Star, where we have to soak the orbs before they reach the boss. It's similar to that one boss in City of Threads, where we have to soak the balls before it gets to the boss. And then the other is Fell Rush, which is dodging a ton of lines. I think there's a wonderful visual for that. You soak these circles and then dodge the lines for the second one. And this is not exaggerating. There are a crap ton of lines to dodge. So have fun with that.
This is absolutely accurate in the order that they appear. Yeah.
Perfect. And then dodging the frontal is the
Oh,
final.
that looks easy.
Yeah, moving to the side of the boss to
I
avoid
think the
frontal
frontal
cone.
cone's a little bit bigger than that. But
Yeah, we'll show
My
you.
understanding was the frontal cone, the boss dashes nearly to the edge of the arena.
yeah, he does, and then he points it towards the middle most of the time.
Yep. So we'll see it here.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Those are the soaks.
I will make it much bigger.
You see he is tanking Elissa and the other one. You'll see the charge. That's the charge to soak.
I think the reason why I wasn't able to get it is because they killed the boss before that on the video that I watched.
And that's the I beam you'll see there. So he's pointing the I beam away. You'll see the fractures. All right, they have the debuff over there in the top. You see the purple debuff on them. And then they go soak the circles. Perfect. They soak those well. There's plenty of room. Here's the intermission. You'll see they're soaking the balls in the first intermission. I think the balls give you a
It's
buff as
also-
well.
They're also sucking you in, so don't go into the very center.
Gotcha. And now you'll see the lines. It's similar to all the other line mechanics. Just stop moving is what we'll ask people so that people can just easily dodge them. And then there is
There's
the
cone.
frontal cone. And that's the fight. It is a whole bunch of shit going on, but it looks like it's going to be really fun. Any questions?
The the debuffs that can be dispelled that we don't want to dispel, there's no dispelling for the entire fight. Like, always leave those on.
It was looking to me at there was a mage or something that was running around soaking pools. It seemed like when he got around 10 stacks, he was really getting chonked.
I got it.
So other than that, yeah, I think it's somebody that has a really good defensive and is quick.
Yep.
We'll just,
So
I
it
guess
doesn't
healers
go
will just have to be
away?
on the lookout.
If you dispel it, it'll go to somebody else. So we can rescue them. But that's one of those mechanics where we're really going to want to have a designated player doing that,
I got you.
or 2 or 3.
Clarifying question then: are we able to determine who it goes on?
Yeah, whoever
Mm.
soaks, right? Or no?
There's several people that are marked. So I guess I guess that would maybe be a good point then. You know, maybe.
So it's just going to be a dice roll, and then it, like, because
I
think
mean-
cycling through dispels until it gets to the 2 people we want to
Yeah, that makes
soak
sense.
would be
That's a
too
good
much.
point.
But I might be wrong.
I suppose if it's on somebody that's squishy or they're in trouble, we might want to rescue them.
Mhm.
But then I guess know that if you do have that debuff on you, you're going to have to do the mechanic and also pop some DRs.
I'm still a little confused on the
Mm.
fracture thing personally. I want to see how it plays out because honestly, it was a free for all in PTR. We had no idea what we were doing. We were just like going crazy.
Is
But
that the one where there's two
It
images?
plays yeah.
yeah, so like it says, get another player to soak your fracture soul. But is that literally meaning they just run into this soul like this? Okay, that it kind of looks like they just
Yes.
did that.
Yes. My understanding was that it was on one of the tanks. Is that a tank thing?
That's a tank thing. So you'll see he's
Yeah.
tanking right here, and there's two
Yeah.
souls of his. It looks like they cleared the right soul,
Yep.
but doesn't look like anyone's cleared the left soul, and he just took extra damage.
Yeah,
just
that's
now.
the two green. That's the two green images that are going to appear on the raid plan. It's represented by a couple of green circles. So that's the split. That's the soul split there.
Cool.
So that debuff, I believe, is called Devourer's Ire, according to the tooltips in the Adventurer's Guide. Each time it's removed, it does deal raid-wide damage.
Yeah.
So you may not want to be dispelling phase just so it can land on your ideal candidates for holding onto that debuff.
Yeah, it even says here on heroic dispel at high stacks, 8 to 10, to
Yeah,
force
that's
it
what
to
I
jump
saw.
to a
The
new
mage
player.
taking damage was around 10 stacks. So
Yeah, and then we have to, once you have the debuff, stand in the purple void zones to soak. If you have it, and then make sure you're using defensives before it gets dispelled. So yeah, it's gonna be weird not dispelling them, healers. Just don't make sure that you only dispel when you need to. Okay. And then the next guy is Fracty Boy, Fractalus. So this one is really cool. He is stationary in the wall, basically. I'll show it here. So you'll see he's like a stationary big boy in a corner here. And the main mechanic that we have to watch out for is we're going to be creating walls away from him. And we're basically creating safe zones. So the encounter, it says it here, the encounter arena is divided into 6 zones marked by crystals. You'll see these crystals here. Yeah, you'll see the crystals in the back there. So let me see if there's a better view of it. There you go. So you'll see the crystals here. So those are the 6 crystals that are divided. Basically, the mechanic is we want to create walls, but not too many walls to where the crystals are pointing a line towards the boss, right? And what happens when you put a wall in between it and the boss is that line increases. If the line reaches the boss, then it blows up and the raid wipes, essentially. So it is a big game of Tetris that we're playing this fight, basically. So, but we don't want to stack it like Tetris too much, or else it blows up. The big thing is there's going to be a safe lane. We are going to designate one of the 6 zones to be the safe lane, and that's where all the players will stand when they're not dealing with a mechanic. Most likely we'll just pick a middle lane. That makes the most sense. I'm probably going to pick like lane 3 or 4 to stand in for everyone. And then what happens is called Crystalline Shockwave. It's going to target 4 players, placing a wall in their current zone after a few seconds. So what will happen is all 4 players will go to different zones and create a wall in their current zone that they're standing in. We want to make sure we don't drop any walls in the safe lane so we have plenty of room to work. And yeah, it says use arrows under the boss to avoid the same zone as other wall droppers and avoid placing walls in any zone that will stack to 6 total walls. 6 total walls means wipe. So the next piece to the puzzle is there's a spell called Shatter Shell. It'll target many players and it'll destroy a wall for each targeted player in their respective zone. So if we're targeted for Shatter Shell and we have like 4 walls up in a zone, you'll want to stand in that zone to break a wall. So you want to spread out. Let me see if I can show you this. So this is the mechanic. Oh, this is it, I think. Yep, raid damage, and then rooted knockback. And you see how it knocks back and breaks the wall. It's pretty cool of a mechanic. And you want to do that for any... You see they built up 3 walls here, so he wants to break this wall, right? So it's basically a game of building walls, breaking walls, building walls, breaking walls. And then we can't have 6 walls or we are dead on one of the lanes. And, of course, throughout the fight, you'll see all those blue circles. It is a game of dodging the blue circles, creating walls, breaking walls. Dodging, creating walls, breaking walls. Players will randomly be selected, I believe, in Heroic with a purple circle. And you'll have to just spread out and stay away from people, and everyone else avoid the big purple circle around someone when we're breaking the wall. So the tank mechanic is Shockwave Slam. It'll target the current tank, placing a wall in their current zone, place the wall in the emptiest lane, and then taunt swap when you get the debuff. So tanks, you have a wall mechanic as well. You'll need to make sure that you're dropping your wall in a zone that doesn't have very many walls, and not in the safe lane that we create. And that's really the fight. Did I miss anything, or were there any questions?
Yeah. So we're saying safe lane, sure. Is there enough? So there's enough knockbacks versus like the wall build up time. That is there like inevitability? Like we'll always have one extra wall come per cycle. Like how does the math work out? Like is that the enrage timer?
Yes. Yeah. So
Okay.
it
You
not
should
only
be
is
able
the
to-
enrage timer, but if we do stack up and we aren't able to clear walls, we can technically put a wall or 2 in our safe lane. Like, that's totally fine as well.
Yeah, if one lane does happen to get a little too full, we can, when the Shadow Shell comes out, multiple people can stack into that lane to knock down multiple walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
That's not the question, I guess, for me there is how much leeway do we have for the knockback specifically? So like do we have enough for 2 safe lanes, or is it only going to be 1 safe lane?
I think
Obviously like we can layer as we need, but
yeah. I think for normal we're not going to have to worry about it. I think for heroic we'll probably have a single safe lane. Like, we can try to do 2 safe lanes, but again, it might be a little tricky. I think we're just going to have to test it, to be honest with you. I don't know if we have a defined answer at this time until we try it out on heroic. Because it's probably you're probably correct, though. It's probably the mechanic is we need to do enough DPS to survive and also make sure that he dies before we fill up the room and our safe
Yeah.
lanes.
According to the video that Holly is showing us, the guy did say that this is supposed to be like the big DPS check boss of the raid, where
Yep.
simple mechanics and just a lot of health, and you just have to rip through them before you get to 6 walls and something.
Yep.
okay. I mean, I'm sure it's an easy answer to my thing when we actually look at it, but like I'm assuming we're getting twice as many walls as we can break or something.
Yep.
Or whatever the math is, but okay.
Most likely that's the case. Or maybe they like spread out the shatter shell mechanic. Like it slows down every time it gets cast. Something like that could also occur. The longer you are in the fight. I'm unsure though. Again, it could I'm thinking it's just gonna be harder and harder to eliminate walls. And we're gonna run out of time if we don't just burn the boss down. That's what my guess is.
So if you're dead, then we can't kill it.
We can't break walls, right? Yeah, it's like less people to target. Any other questions before we go next? Nexus King? The penultimate fight. This one. So, this fight is absolutely fucking crazy. And also is gonna be all the checks. It's gonna be a tank check. It's gonna be a heal check. It's gonna be a DPS check. It's gonna be a dodge check. You're gonna be dodging the entire fight, basically. This guy is a crazy fight. Amazing though. I think it's really the new mechanics that they're introducing with the dimensions and having to go and kill ads on different platforms, similar to like Queen, and also he's going to be shooting frontals through other portals that then hit lines on the ground. It's fucking nuts. Okay, I just need to. I'll just explain it now. The lust for this one is actually the second intermission. Yes, there are 2 intermissions. And there's going to be, it's single target with some AoE phases, aka we're going to different platforms to kill ads. We kill those ads and we come back to the main platform to kill the boss. But with this one, I think it's probably best to show it here. So in the first phase, everyone is going to get a debuff, and it's 3 stacks of a debuff. And what we need to do is remove that debuff, or else once we get to intermission, you die. So to remove the debuff, there are circles that spawn, and you need to soak in that circle to not only mitigate the raid-wide damage that happens from the circle, but also remove your debuff as well. There's going to be a tank frontal, which we're going to want to avoid. There's going in the first phase is basically a burn phase. It is a remove that debuff as much as you can and burn the boss as much as you can in this first phase. So going back to my notes here, eliminating an ad in the way as well. F you. Get that freak out of there. So going to this, the first thing is Decree Oathbound. So all players start with that 3 stacks of the debuff. We soak a Conquer cast per tank to remove a stack, so the tanks are going to be hit by the frontal to remove stacks, and then we need to remove all stacks by the end of phase 1 or you're dead. Oh, and in Heroic, if you die, you're also mind controlled. So we now have to deal with your mind controlled self. The tank combo is Conquer. So after 2 Conquers and 2 Vanquishes, we are going... Well, actually, I'm sorry. There's going to be 2 Conquers and there's going to be 2 Vanquishes in random order. We're going to taunt swap during every cast, as it can't swap mid-cast. So they'll cast the ability, the other tank will taunt, the first tank will take the ability, and then the second tank will get aggro. So we need to aim the Vanquish cone away from the group, which is the frontal, and then aim the Conquer at the group to get their stacks off, which is the big circle. Another ability that happens there is Behead. So waves of players are targeted by large scratch marks. You'll see them. You want to run far out of the group if you're targeted to drop the void zones. So you'll see here, maybe, yeah. So these void zones or these circles need to be brought out, and not only are they circles, but they are now portals. So then during this phase, the boss is actually going to do a frontal, and through these portals, the frontal will be replicated. So we need to make sure that the portals are on the edge of the room, so we have more space to dodge the frontals. So at 50% health, we're into this phase 2. At the start of phase 2, those 4 players are targeted. We take the portals out. 30 yards apart at least, but we're going to say the edge of the room. And then Dimension Breath happens, which is the laser. And then that laser is amplified by those portals. Let me show it here. That's Conquer. That's the frontal. That's the frontal there. The soak is there. This Conquer. People will soak that to get another debuff taken off. That's the frontal. You guys understand that. Dragon Boy comes out. The zones are created. You take those zones to the edge of the room. You'll see the lines, and then chaos. Moving frontals around the platform as we dodge them. So you have to understand, A, where the portals are in the room, and B, where you can actually dodge, because you'll see those scratch marks on the ground that we left at the edge of the room. they also hurt you if you stand in them. So not only are you dodging the frontal going through those beams, but you're also dodging those scratch lines. You'll see once we get the first intermission, ads will spawn on the side platforms. There's 2 side platforms, and we need to split into groups and go to our associated sides. We'll probably do odds and evens. We'll go to the sides. We'll use our extra action button to portal over to the platform, and then once you're on the platform, there's going to be laser beams that you have to dodge, and then you have to kill your ads and use your extra action button to come back to the main platform. Once the ads die, we then move into the second intermission, which is the boss going immune, but the dragon will take 100% bonus damage. This is when we will lust. This is when we will pop all of our big cooldowns. Again, we are not trying to pop all our big cooldowns during killing the ads, because we want to use all of our major cooldowns when we're killing the dragon that is taking 100% bonus damage. So that is extremely important to know, DPS. We're basically doing soft DPS on the ads to kill the ads, and then we are popping everything we have to do as much damage to the dragon as possible, because what happens is the boss then absorbs the dragon, and according to how much health the dragon has, the boss will heal as well. So we pop cooldowns, we start killing the dragon, we dodge some shit during that intermission too, and we kill the dragon as much as possible. So I will show you that now. So we then go to the ads, we do soft DPS on these ads, we dodge these lines that pop up, similar to galley lines. We go back to the middle, and the dragon is now taking 100% extra damage. A bunch of shit is on the ground to dodge, but during this, we're popping all of our cooldowns. We are killing the dragon as much as possible. Kill, 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 and then the boss absorbs the dragon and heals a little bit of percentage health according to how much health the dragon had. So big DPS check. Then the boss will summon a bunch of these circles. So the dragon dies, he collects it, and then he does Galactic Smash. He targets 3 players, on Heroic it's 6, spawning a dark star on their location. Now, it's important to know that the dark star will spawn these giant freaking, they call stars, but they kind of look like asteroids to me. But it makes these giant crystal things, right, that spawn crazy mechanics. So there's like a dodge mechanic there. They circle around the room. If you touch them, you're dead. You want to dodge the circles, similar to the council fight in the last raid, before this one. And then, yeah, it's just crazy. So the whole fight, we're going to be dodging those stars, and we're going to be dodging the lines created in the ring of those stars. And then there's going to be another mechanic called Star Killer Swing, which targets 3 players and fires a missile through them. You want to aim each missile into a dark star and avoid using the same dark star as someone else, because I think that it does extra damage if you hit it. On Heroic, the dark stars will also orbit around the center platform, so our positioning will need to be extremely good, because we're going to have to put some of the stars on the outside, and we're going to have to put some of the stars on the inside of the room, because there's going to be too many stars to deal with and not enough Star Killer Swings to actually kill them. So yeah, that's Nexus King. There is a lot going on in this fight. It's going to be a fun fight, but it's going to take a little while to learn this one, because by God, there is a lot of shit going on. Any questions?
Ain't none to it but to do it.
Oh, that's easy.
I got one question. What happens if you get hit by a conquer when you don't have any stacks? Like, is that particularly the reason why we divide the group? You just die otherwise? Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know the reason.
Yeah, so the conquers are only to get rid of the stacks. there only is going to be enough clunkers to get rid of your 3 stacks. That's why you have to split them and do them appropriately, right? So you have 3 stacks, right? You got 2 clunkers and 2 vanquishes to get rid of those stacks, right? So
Gotcha.
that is the reasoning behind it. It's not like you will take extra. You have to take the exact amount that they give you, or else you are dead after this phase ends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Under Galactic Smash, it said specifically that players are pulled towards the Dark Stars on spawn.
Mm-hmm.
For that specifically, is that heroic only? I didn't see that happening necessarily in this
I-
run, in that video.
I think so. I think it's only heroic, but I could be wrong. Maybe the suck is harder on heroic. Like
And
maybe
then-
it's more percentage increased.
Yeah, Void Razor Sanctuary has that same, like, when you drop a circle, it does like a suck. And then if you triangulate it, you're evened out to be in the center and just fine.
Got it.
But like with 6, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's gonna be crazy. Crazy ass fight. It's gonna take, guys, have patience with this one, because this is the one that's gonna fuck us up. For sure, we're gonna need to prog this one on heroic.
Nah, it doesn't look that bad.
I knew you were gonna
Easy.
say that shit. I was just waiting for it. Easy fight, easy raid.
Kill it first pull.
Yep. And I think that is it. Sorry, I didn't end up using a ton of your notes here, Sully, but odds out, kill adds fasty casty on lust.
I did update some of the slides as we were going along. I changed that to soft DPS so nobody uses their cooldowns.
Nice.
Like I said at the beginning, if you guys notice anything that I've missed, there's a lot of information that wasn't available when I made the slides a few days ago. So every day there's new information coming out about what the encounters are going to look like. So please, if you guys see a great strat or obviously a heroic mechanic that I might be missing, send the information to me.
We will definitely do so, guys. If you catch anything, just let Sully know and she'll update her notes. And Sully, again, I will say, greatly appreciated that we have these notes. It definitely shows the platforms and the mechanics much easier than we would.
This is awesome. Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Sully.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
And I don't think we have info on the final boss yet. Yep, we do not. So that's basically what we have so far.
All we know is he's a big daddy.
Big void demon dude who's coming to kill the world. Classic. Classic.
Wait, tell you what, I'm gonna make that thing my new Void Walker.
Have they kept everybody from seeing him then? Like nobody's actually tried it even on PTR or nowhere?
Yep,
It wasn't
no
available
one.
for testing on PTR.
Yep, he is not available.
That's
Like
pretty
always.
ordinary for raid bosses. Like at the end of every raid
Yep.
these days.
They have to have something.
Yeah.
You know, they have to be mysterious.
Yep, exactly. Cool.
I was just wondering if it's because of how
Yeah,
big
another
he
one
was
over
supposed to
there.
be.
Burning Crusade.
Yeah. Cool. Any questions, guys? Anything we want to talk about?
How fast do you want to get into heroic? Like the
Ah.
next week?
Good plug. Very good plug to review the schedule. So, the schedule has been posted to raid info, at least what we assume. We could be faster than the schedule suggests, but that's up to our gameplay, to be honest with you. The first 2 weeks are going to be normal heroic. I assume we'll be able to finish normal this week. That's what we did last year, or last season, is we finished the raid in the first week and then went to heroic the second week. We're going to still do normal skips. They're going to have a skip mechanic once again. We'll skip to the bosses, which we need the gear on for our mythic team, and go from there. But the schedule is weeks 1 and 2 are normal raid and gear funnel into heroic. Weeks 3 through 6 is normal. Weeks 3 through 6 is heroic prog. Again, we could clear heroic sooner than 6 weeks and move to mythic, but that's our current plan. And then from then on is all mythic with only heroic clears for gear, like doing skips to get some gear and then moving into mythic.
Okay.
Yeah, so definitely check out the schedule in raid info that we posted to see more information. I put some notes under each section, so definitely check that out. The main note that everyone should know is for normal and heroic, it will be open to all, with the caveat that we want people to have all-in chance and have their gear at least at 675 minimum for the main raid group, and then also know that gear priority will favor the prog teams. So I'm being very open and upfront about this one. I'm going to be funneling gear to my main myth raid team for early raid and late raid. Of course, late raid is going to have their own funneling. I'm sure Sully is going to follow our lead in this one. But yeah, so for main raid, I'm going to be raiding my main mythic raid team. Just know that going into the raid that I will be asking people that win gear, or I haven't necessarily figured out how I'm going to distribute the loot, but just know I'm going to be gearing my raiders for the main myth team. Yeah. Main myth team is posted in public on Guilds of WoW. I also can post it on raid info if we need it, but all of my main team and backups, etc. are on there, and it is up to date. So as far as attendance is concerned, I want you on time. Just like we did last season, we're trying to get there early. So, like, I'm going to start forming the groups 30 minutes before we start to start clearing trash, if there is trash to clear. I think first boss, you just do, like, literally one pull, and then it's boss. So there won't be too much trash to pull. But we are tracking attendance this season. We will reach out to people if they are regularly late, or if they have to regularly drop out of the raid group, because we're trying to manage our time as best as possible. We only have 2 hours a raid night to actually do the raid, so having people drop out, be late, everything is a super detriment to us because we don't have a big window to work with for the raid. So please be on time and ready to go when it is raid time.
Okay.
Cool. Any questions?
Cool.
I'll probably have questions later once I watch all the YouTube videos, but this was a good look at everything for sure. Doesn't seem to get too crazy until like the
Sweet.
4th boss. So
That's pretty ordinary too. Yeah.
pretty normal. Yeah.
Sweet. All right, unless there's any questions, I think we can wrap this up. Sully, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Nope, I think we got everything covered. That was really great.
Thanks again, Sully, for putting that stuff together.
Thank you.
You got it. You're welcome. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, everyone. Then
Bye,
we will
y'all.
talk soon. See you this week.
Peace.
Peace.
Yo.